What up, everybody? Demon back, and today we are going to be talking about the newest issue of the Walking Dead comic. I'm not going to be doing a review on it. I'm just going to be giving my thoughts on what happened because it's a pretty big issue, and I have a lot to say about it. So I just want to do a video talking about it, and I know it's kind of weird that I'm doing a Walking Dead comic video. This channel is mostly Godzilla. I've done some Walking Dead shows, some Fear the Walking Dead, but I've never done a comic video, so it's kind of weird, but, you know, for those of you who are here for the Walking Dead, I hope you like. So, let's start talking about it now.
Shines in the autumn sky.
The it was made a long time ago in like 2010. Someone made it and put it up on YouTube. I found it a while ago and thought if I ever did comic videos, may as well use that as the intro because the comic series doesn't have a theme song or anything, so I didn't know what to use as an intro, so I used that. Don't worry, whoever created it, whoever did that, you get full credit for that. I did not make it. There will be a link in the description to the original. It's pretty cool. Hope you guys liked it. I certainly do. Anyways, we're going to be talking about Alpha and what her story arc was and kind of where I think the story is going from here, along with some recent events that just happened. I think this goes without saying, guys, but if you are not caught up on The Walking Dead, 100% on the comics, get out of here. Go read that issue, the newest one. I don't remember what it is. We'll talk about it later, but what is it, 156, I think? Yeah, go check out 156. It's an amazing issue, so you don't want to miss it. Also, I'll spoil everything about it in this video, so if you don't want it spoiled, I really do recommend you getting out of here as fast as you can. So, yeah, that's a spoiler warning. So, we're going to talk about Alpha, the leader of the Whisperers. She was hyped up for a long time in the comic series. They've made her out to be this huge villain. She killed Ezekiel, pregnant Rosita, two characters that have been with us for a long time, especially Rosita. And Ezekiel being very important, seeing as though he is the leader of the kingdom, or at least was. She also killed, a dozen other people, and held Rick at gunpoint, forcing him to look at this massive army she has, which is just a whole bunch of walkers that are being steered by some of the Whisperers that are in the herds at random points, but it's really cool. The Whisperers are a really cool group, and Alpha made herself out to be a really awesome villain. So in the TV series, there's even been kind of Alpha-ish references. These references being the wolf, who is referred to as the Alpha Wolf, and he lives his life, the wolves live their lives, kind of like the Whisperers lived theirs. I haven't heard a lot of people making this comparison, so figured I'd detail it now. So, the Whisperers pretty much live their lives as that they're animals, and that they don't deserve to live in houses and all this stuff because, you know, they're going back to their natural state. Now, the wolves, as the wolf says, kind of quoting Morgan, everything gets a return. Originally man hunted wolf, now wolf hunts man. So they took up the persona of the wolves, and they pretty much lived their lives the same way. They lived as animals, they stayed outdoors, they had traps. They didn't appear to go in houses, like to live there or whatever. I know the Alpha Wolf went in for meds, but then he talked about how that was selfish and he shouldn't have done it. And even in Fear the Walking Dead, a lot of people have been making the comparison to our main group to the Whisperers because even if you don't believe the theory, you can't deny that there is a lot there. There is a lot going for it. I don't personally believe that our group in Fear will become the Whisperers, but I do agree with most people. There is a lot going for it, and at the very least, it's a cool reference. Now back to Alpha. So she was set out to be this really cool villain, and she even has, She's the leader of the Whispers, and we know the Whispers are going to be big in the comic series in these upcoming issues because of the Whisper War. Now, will this just be kind of a retread, just like All Out War Part 1 and 2? Is it going to be like those again? I hope not. I hope it's really cool. But if you take a look, I mean, it looks, from the first two covers that we have released, it looks really cool. And I know some people have been pointing out about something we'll talk about in a minute here. Alpha has blood behind her in the part 1 of the Whisper War. Michonne has blood behind her in the part 2. What does that mean? Is that foreshadowing their deaths? Possibly. I don't know. We'll talk about that later, though. So, it's clear that the Whisper storyline is going to go cool places. It's going to get big. But with the growing Whisper story, Alpha died. She died. The leader was killed, so that leaves us with a lot of questions. Now, Negan killed her. Negan went into the Whisperers camp. At the time, we didn't know what he was doing. He killed that kid who was with him, who helped him escape prison. He killed that kid, and then he went into the Whisperers territory, became friends with Alpha. He was in love with her, or at least he seemed to be. And so it was really interesting. At the time, at the time as in before this issue, we didn't know if he was going in there to betray Rick, to get the Whisperers to just come and attack Rick and kill them all. We didn't know that, or if he was going to do what he did here, kill Alpha and go back to Rick as a friend or an ally. We still don't know. Personally, I don't see Negan being Rick's ally. I would love it if he was. I would love it if he was honestly killing Alpha with the intention of, he was going to bring her head back to Rick, because we know he's taking her head back to Rick. So if he was going to take her head back to Rick, and then they were going to be allies in war against the Whisperers, if Negan was like, okay, I've been in this group, I've seen what they do, they're bad people, we need to take them out. I don't know. Maybe his time in prison changed him. Who knows? The only thing that I really can say, though, is that I don't see Negan doing that. And the biggest thing I have to say that Negan won't, he won't be Rick's ally is the fact that he's on the Whisper War cover as a bad guy. But Alpha's also said whoever kills her will become the new Alpha. So if Negan really wants, he could take over the Whisperers now. They would probably all respect him and whatever. And he could lead them to war. Or, what I see him doing is going and getting his saviors back, and then the saviors, he will team up with Rick and then go to war with the Whisperers. Either way, I could see it happening. I just am leaning more towards the fact that he'll be a bad guy leading the Whisperers against Rick. Now, the other possibilities here are, number one, Beta taking over. Beta hates Negan. So Negan's either going to A, have to kill Beta and take over the Whisperers, because there's no way Beta's letting him take over. Or B, Negan will leave, Beta will take over on his own, and then lead war against Negan and Rick. I can see that happening too. Now, the other things that are going to happen is I think Negan unintentionally unleashed that Walker horde that Alpha showed to Rick. I think he unintentionally released that onto Rick's group. By killing Alpha, I think that the Whisperers are going to find out and be mad, and then they're just going to lead that thing straight back to Alexandria. And what that will mean for the story then on out, I don't know. We'll talk about that later in Whisper War predictions, or whenever we get into that, because I'm going to start doing more comic book series talk. I think it'll be cool. So, yeah. But it's really, there's so many questions. What could be happening here? And then the other question is, why is Alpha alive on the Whisper War cover? Was it just to mislead us back whenever it was released, like a month or two ago? Was it just to confuse us and be like, oh my god, Alpha's going to lead war against them, and then she dies the issue before or whatever? Could be. Or it could be that they were showing her on there and she's dead. That's why the blood splatter is behind her, and that's also leads into the Michonne will die theory, which it says Michonne has blood splatter behind her on her cover, so maybe she's dead. What I think is going on here is, like I said, I think that Alpha will be dead, but her presence will not be lost. Beta will take over, because if Negan goes back, either way, I think Negan's heading back to Alexandria to give Rick that head. And I think while he's gone, Beta will take over, lead that horde back, and that's what's going on here in the cover. Rick's going to be angry when Negan shows up, that's why he's looking like that. Alpha's presence is not lost because it lives on through Beta, that's why she's on the cover, and all the people panicking is because A, Negan's back with a head, or B, the herd's coming. So, one of the two. Those are my predictions so far. Here's the other question is, am I disappointed about Alpha's death? Yes, I am. I am sad that she died, but the only thing that I can say will make me not be upset that they killed her off before she even got to do anything really cool is the way they handle this. If moving forward, Negan is a good guy or bad guy, so pretty much if my predictions play out as I think they will, I won't be upset. But if they do them differently, because I don't write the series, so if Kirkman does something differently that I never thought of and I don't like it as much, yes, I will be upset that Alpha's killed. But if they handle it right, if Beta takes over and like if like the spirit of Alpha lives on through him or whatever, then yeah, I won't be upset because her presence will still pretty much be there. But if they handle it completely different, then yeah, I will. I'll be sad that she got killed before she got to do anything cool. So, it's like that. Now talking about this, where will the story go from here? Because if Negan leads the Whisperers, I think that would be a big misstep. That would be just retreading All Out War, in my opinion. Number two, how is Negan going to get Lucille back? Because as we know, Dwight has Lucille, and there's no way Negan's letting Dwight have Lucille. There is no way he's going to stand for that. He's getting her back. But about this cover, about this Michonne cover, so as I've already talked about, people are pointing out how there's blood behind her that could be meaning she's going to die. The other thing that I've noticed is the Whisperers are all charging behind Negan. Maybe Negan's on his way back to Alexandria to give Rick the head, and they're going to try and jump him, kill him. Because, I don't know, they're all charging with knives, and I know it's meant to look like Negan's leading them into combat the way he's pointing. Who knows? Maybe they're coming to kill him from behind. I don't know. But, I mean, the covers are kind of similar. The All Out War cover and the Whisper War cover, they are kind of similar. I don't know. Guys, there's a lot of questions I have. I know a lot of you guys who read the comic have these questions too. The biggest thing is, I think, overall, Negan's headed back to Alexandria to give Rick the head. Whether he's a good guy or bad guy at this point, I don't know. But I do know that the Whisperers are going to retaliate either way. Negan is going back either way. Or I don't know this, but this is just what I think. So, those are my predictions. Do you guys think Negan and Rick could lead together? Do you guys think that they would be allies at this point? I personally don't think that they could get to that point just because I don't see Rick ever teaming with Negan. I can see Negan wanting to, but I don't see Rick letting that happen. What do you guys think? Comment below, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I get more Walking Dead fans on here. I know this channel is mostly Godzilla, like I keep saying, but, you know, Walking Dead is my favorite TV series, and there's no way I'm just going to stop doing videos on it. So, thank you guys all for watching. I'm D-Man. D-Man out.